Welcome to the third clip in making our polyvagal theory workforce to improve our well-being. I'm Ed Sipler in the Southeastern Trust. And in this clip, we're going to talk about calming our nervous system. Now, three techniques, breathing, self-containment, and self-compassion, are good ways to create a calmness in our nervous system when stress and pressure starts to build. We're going to have a few more ideas on top of that. Now, important thing to say, one of the most useful tools we have to calm our nervous system is breathing. Now, when we get anxious, we're breathing rapid and shallow from our chest. You turn that around. You breathe out more than you breathe in from the pit of your stomach, not your mouth or through your nose. And real deep breaths. You're breathing out more than you breathe in. It's one of the most effective ways to calm your nervous system because it turns on that parasympathetic nervous system, that calming element that tones that fight or flight response down. It's one of the most immediate tools we have with us all the time. Now, there's different kinds of breathing. Now, if you sit comfortably, close your eyes if you can. Try to breathe through your mouth, or your nose rather than your mouth. I read that wrong. But you're breathing from your belly, not your chest. And deliberately big, deep breath in for 2, out for 4. There's different types of relaxed breathing. There's box breathing, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Really nice one when you're breathing out, because when you're breathing, your lungs are you're breathing out in your slow rhythmic breath. You're from your lungs. That vagus nerve is going to pick that up. That's going to send a signal to the brain, calm down. And if you add a sigh or pucker your lips and blow like you're blowing out a straw, you're going to stimulate the vagus nerve coming down your throat. There's different types of breathing. You can look on YouTube and find one that works for you. But I'm going to take a quote from the book, which I found absolutely fantastic. That when people breathe, on a regular basis, 11 minutes a day, you affect the hormones in your body. 25 minutes a day. Spread out through the day, deep, rhythmic, slow breathing. People can literally lower their blood pressure. Breathing is the most immediate, effective way we have, and we carry it with us all the time. Now, the second technique we talk about in the booklet is self-containment, because if things get overwhelming, how do we create a containment? And people might wrap themselves up in a blanket. You might have a weighted blanket. Little children, what do? They might build a little fort with boxes or hide under the table. But a nice little, calming technique used in self-containment is from Peter Levine. And you put one hand on your shoulder, the other hand under your armpit, feet on the floor, settle into the chair. And as you're breathing deeply, you're giving yourself a hug. And you're picturing yourself like a container. Everything inside me I own. My thoughts, my emotions, everything going in my body. And you just stay that way till you begin to calm. The breathing, the relaxed rhythmic breathing, is certainly going to help you do that. There's another exercise in the book. So if you want, you can have a look at the second one, of self-containment. Now, the third skill we talk about with self-compassion, where we're calming yourself, is self-compassion. Now, the evidence, and I'm going to pick this up, quite powerful, because the evidence, when people practice self-compassion, it increases that flexibility in your stressful responses. Wow. Now, self-compassion isn't the same as self-esteem. Self-compassion is how you relate to yourself. And I love this quote: a moment of self-compassion can change your entire day. A string of such moments can change the course of your life. Christopher Germer said that, one of the leaders in the world of self-compassion. The evidence is compounding how useful it is for our well-being, for everyone. Now, further evidence would say when you practice self-compassion for 2 weeks, it might sound like a little exercise every day, build into your regular routine. They practice it for 2 weeks. Go back to the brain. You strengthen that link between the amygdala, that smoke detector, and the thinking part of the brain. Creates what they call cognitive flexibility, a broader outlook. You see the broader picture rather than zooming on the negative. Do it for 8 weeks. Those pathways get cemented with that brain plasticity. Neurons that fire together, wire together. People literally can just build that into a regular habit of being self-compassionate rather than self-critical. Now, self-compassion has three parts. It is the way we talk to ourselves. We talk to ourselves like we would a good friend. You recognize our common humanity. Every single one of us on this planet makes mistakes, has weaknesses, makes bad decisions. You make a bad decision, it doesn't make you a bad person, makes you human. And the third part is self-compassion. You're able to observe your emotions in the here and now and use mindfulness, that way of focusing all your attention on one thing, your breathing, what you see, what you feel, your feet on the floor, and you bring yourself back to the here and now. Full circle to the first one, non-judgmentally. Now, in the book, we talk about some ways that you build self-compassion, but there's only suggestions. If you want to go a little bit further and you want to do a little bit of work on self-compassion, because so many of us across Northern Ireland are very self-critical. On ASCERT's website, we have an entire self-help resource on self-compassion. You go on that website, you go on ASCERT, that's ASCRT, and you go up to the resource hub, drop it down to self-help. There's self-compassion. People can download a workbook on it, but there's 11 short clips that guides the viewer through the work. And if you use it, even only a bit of it, there's an evaluation like, please tell us, was it helpful? And there's also a self-help, your book, Bend Don't Break, which is a self-help resilience building workshop to help us look at our thinking. So self-compassion, self-containment, and breathing. And we thought we wanted to add a few more skills because that's so important. There's so much stress for all of us. Now, these aren't in the book, but we wanted to include it. But we did put it in the skills pack. So first one, halt. Make sure you're not too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. If you're tired, you're not thinking straight. If you're hungry, how many of us get hangry? Rain is a wonderful way to deal with those thorny emotions. And you're going to see the link to self-compassion. RAIN's an acronym. It stands for, first, the R stands for recognize your emotion. Just name what you feel. Don't try to fight it or run or avoid it. And the A stands for acknowledge it. Just accept it. Your feelings are what they are. And that could be an entry into self-compassion. That recognize your emotions and bringing yourself back to the here and now. And the I stands for investigate. Where's this feeling coming from? What's going on here? What choice do I have? And the N stands for non-identity. You're not your feeling. You keep saying, I am angry. I am anxious. Well, are you talking about a trait? I am? No. You're talking about a feeling. And feelings are temporary. So rain can be a nice technique to deal with those thorny emotions. We already mentioned deep breathing. Movement, when we move, what a wonderful way to calm the nervous system, whether we dance, rock, sway, and physical touch. And that's linking into our senses. We can use our senses to distract our nervous system, whether we use our sight, what we see, what we hear. Smell is an exceptionally powerful sense. Might be a pleasant smell or something we find relaxing. Touch, the feeling of, and sometimes a self hug. Yeah. And what we hear, and interesting things we hear, we might close our eyes to try to pick up background noise that we don't necessarily hear in the forefront. And soft rhythmic music, what's powerful about that? We listen to soft rhythmic music, our heart rate will start to mimic or follow the pattern of the music. And we've already mentioned self-help, find a way to feel contained. Clench fist is an exercise in the self-compassion book where we clench our fists and then turn our palms and open them up as we're breathing deep. And then bring your hands to your chest. As you're breathing deep, you feel that maybe your heartbeat, feel your chest rise and fall with your breathing. Nice way to bring yourself back to the here and now. Glimmers, we're going to talk about that later on in this work, because glimmers are those moments of that we see or feel or hear. Those moments that bring us back to peace. We're going to come back to that and go into them a little bit more detail. Resilient self-talk, the way we talk to ourselves really matter. The statements we make, if we talk ourselves into distress, this is awful, this is a disaster. No, I can get through this. This is temporary. It's going to pass. It is what it is. We accept it. I'm not going to let myself be a victim. I've been through this before. So the way we talk to ourselves. And 5-finger breathing, just another way to use feeling of touch as we close our eyes and we breathe deep. We just trace the outline of our open hand along the fingers. We get to the small finger and down to the wrist, just reverse order. And we do that till we feel a calmer, more relaxed state. Some ideas of ways to calm that nervous system down. We hope you find some of those helpful. There's more, if you look for them, but those are the ones we put in the booklet, and we hope you find them helpful. Thanks very much, and we'll move on in a minute to the fourth clip.